In this video, we're going to talk about how to fix your portraits with one simple move. So why do your portraits end up looking like this when you want them to look like this? The truth is, you're one simple move away from fixing your portraits instantly. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that if you just give me a few minutes of your time. Sounds fair? We'll dive into it right after this. Everyone seems to think the problem is their lens or their camera, or simply some super expensive lighting setup they don't own yet. But that's not it at all. I believe that's what's messing up your portraits is the direction of light that's hitting the subject's face. Once you fix that, everything changes, from the mood, the vibe, even the story. Now, what you'll walk away with today is 3 simple steps that will make every portrait looks cleaner, softer, and way more intentional. And number 3 will be the part that nobody talks about. So before we jump into these steps, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at your photos and thought, does these feel flat? But you simply can't figure out what the issue is? That's usually because the light is hitting the face wrong. So here is the simple rule. Your subject should not face the brightest portion of the light directly. When the brightest part of the light hits the subject, everything loses shape. There's no dimension about your image. It looks 2D, it looks flat. There's no depth. It becomes like a flat selfie. But when you turn your subject slightly away from the light, everything changes. The shadows fall in the right place, the face is carved out beautifully, and suddenly, the image feels professional. Just by doing this one adjustment, this move is going to put you about 70% ahead of photographers these days. Now here we go. You're going to turn your subject away from the brightest part of that light source. In this demonstration, see how the shadows sculpt the face instead of destroying it? Even if you do nothing else today, this one demonstration will instantly upgrade your portraits. So now that you turn your subject away from the light, you'll notice that one side gets darker. But hold on, you don't want it to get too dark because you don't want to lose everything into the shadows. So we can do something very simple to fix that. So you're going to use a V flat, and that V flat is going to bounce that light back into the face to fill in those shadows. Or if you're close to a white wall, you can use that white wall as your bounce to fill in those shadows. So just understanding how the light works will help you to create better portraits. Once the light bounces back in, you have a balanced image. Not flat, not harsh, just soft and neutral. Unless you're going for something really crazy that you need harsh lights, maybe you're trying to replicate the sunlight, you're trying to get that harsh light. But even then, you want some form of 3-dimensionality with your images. This one trick alone will give you the edge. Want to create beautiful window lighting, but don't have a window? Use the largest softbox you have to create that window lighting. You're going to put it to one side and set your subject and have that light come in, and that will be a beautiful window lighting. Now we get to step number 3. To shape the face, you need that light to be kissing the cheekbone. Coming right along the cheekbone so it shapes that face, that give you that 3-dimensional aspect to your image. Look at this editorial that I shot for a magazine. This trick beauty photographers use every single day. And you don't need expensive gear. You just need placement. You need to know how to place your light. You need to know how to set your subject. You know, once you understand the science of light and how light works and the reflectivity of light, then that's what's going to help you in creating these portraits. Now, here's a quick demonstration of a full portrait setup, very simple and easy to follow. So I'm using one constant light for today's demonstration with my trusty mannequin model here. All right, here we go. So it's directly in front of her, really harsh. If you look at it, all the face is lit up. And that's because the light is like right in front of her. So it's just bright. It casts in kind of a shadow below the neckline here, but there's really no true definition to the face because it's kind of broadly lit. That's not the look we're going for if you want to elevate your portraits, because that's kind of a flat light and there's no three-dimensionality about it. It's, you know, it's just the subject in front of a background, a gray wall, and the light is just like placed in front of her, and it's not balanced. All right, so I'm going to make some adjustments and just turn that adjustment. And this light has no beauty dish, has no modifier on there. All right, so just tilting the light. I'm going to tilt down to a 45-degree angle. And as I tilt down to a 45-degree angle, you can see the forehead area is starting to change. That strong shadow below the chin, the neck area right here is still there. But here we go, just gonna tilt down just a bit. And now you're starting to see, and as I raise this light, so it's not directly in front of her, you notice that shadow below here changes, goes down. And that's because my light is higher, way above her now. It's not directly in front of her. Now, let's adjust this. Let's get this to perfection. All right. Okay, so here we go. I've made some adjustments. I've turned the mannequin slightly at an angle, and now the light is coming in just above her head. So, and this is just one single light, no modifiers. All right, you can still see the strong shadow here, which is giving that a nice bit of dimension there. And now I've added a V flat on this side with white facing towards the mannequin. So what's happening now is you can see the light bouncing off and filling in shadows on this side of the face. So that is giving it some depth. And I'm going to just show you what happens when you move the V flat out the way. So as I move the V flat, you can see there's more shadow there, right? So I come in with the V flat and you can see that changes because that is acting as a big fill light in comparison to my subject. So that V flat is pretty much my fill light on the right side of the subject. So it's filling in all these shadows over here on the right side of the subject. So that's a simple way to improve your portraits. And if you don't have any modifiers, you just have one light and you wanted to give this a try, it's very simple. One light, no mods. In a V flat, you can use a white wall if you don't have a V flat. The only thing you'd have to do is just move your subject closer to that white wall. Move your whole setup closer to the white wall. And that way you use the white wall as your fill. Okay, so you can see the simple improvement the V flat makes. That's on the right side. That's coming in and filling the shadows on this side. And if you want to take it up a notch, you can simply do another fill here. And if you look underneath the neckline here, you should be able to see that it's just kind of filling in some of that shadow, just kind of softening that out. Hope you're able to see that. And there you go. I move it away. You can see it's very dark. And as I come in, just about there, you see how that lightens up right about here. You know, there's a little shadow below the nose that gives that some depth right there. And I like that. So to taste, now all you're doing is just seasoning to taste. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. All right. So there you have that. And that is just a simple way of doing it without any expensive gear. Real simple. All I'm using is one simple light. And as you can see, as I pull back, we have the V flat over there. Then we have one light on a C stand. There's one light up there pointing down. All right, so I take the light off the stand just so I can show you real quick what's going on here. Let me get this off. Okay. All right, so I took the light off the stand so I can show you kind of real quick what's going on. And here you'll see, all right? You see that? Just one light to the side of her, and it's all blown out in this side. You move the light around, and you can see it starts as you move around, you can see the shape start defining. So that's what your light is doing. So sometimes what you need to do is just move your light around on your subject so you can kind of understand what's going on with your lighting, you know? And as you move it around, what position gives you a more three-dimensional lighting? Is it straight on like this in front of your cam, right in front of the subject? Is it pulled back where you, like that? What position would be better? Do you want it to the side where it's just kind of feathering off to one side, and then you're using the V flat as your white wall, and that's bouncing back and filling in shadows on this side of the face? So there you have it. Quick, simple tips and how to improve your portrait. Well, thanks for watching. And until next time, keep shooting.